Hey everybody, Sean here from BoredParacord, and today I want to show you the two different kinds of Matthew Walker knots. We're going to do a 2-strand with the goldenrod cord, and then we're also going to do a 4-strand. This is just to hold everything together for now, but we're going to be doing the Matthew Walker knot with the cords here for a 4-strand. So we're going to do a 2 and a 4. So let's just jump right into it. One thing we want to do is find the center point of our paracord, and the easiest way to do that is to put your two ends together and just pull everything through your fingers until you end up with a loop there. So we know that's our end. And this knot is good for like knife lanyards. You can put this on your camera strap as a decorative knot, all sorts of different things. But anyways, let's start out with a loop on the bottom, just like this. Let me get just a little closer here for you guys and girls. And you have a right cord and a left cord. The first thing we want to do is create a loop on the right and then take that cord behind everything, just like that. And this is basically, you're making the Cobra or the Solomon, things that we've went over many times. Now with the cord looking like this, grab the left cord, bring it under the cord that you just passed off to the left, over top of everything, and then down through. So we're not only doing a 2-strand Matthew Walker, but we're going to do a single pass and a double pass. I'll show you both of these. So once you have this, you're going to take your left cord, come over the top with it, and go down through the loop on the right. And what you're doing is you're kind of spiraling around these two center strands here. And I know this looks kind of messy here. Let me try and tighten this up a little bit. There we go. Pull that back out. So you should have something that looks like that. And you want to do the same thing with your right cord now, except you're going to go around the back and come up through the loop on the left. And you should have these two cords in the center that are kind of spiraling, independent of one another, but spiraling around the center cord. It's kind of hard to see, but you should have something like that. And then all you do is simply, slowly tighten these cords up. And not only do you want to pull on these, but you can pull on the bottom ones too, just like this, kind of holding everything together. The one that has the most slack, that's the one that you want to try and tighten. There we go. And you just kind of want to work this knot until you have, on both sides, you can see we have an X on this side, and then if we flip it 180 degrees around, we have an X on this side. And you're just going to tighten this up just by pulling on each cord as you go. And you can tighten this as hard as you want until you get rid of these little gaps right here. So you should have something that looks like that. Very similar. You could use two colors too if you wanted, just instead of doing this loop. What I did is I just tied a knot to hold everything together on that one. Okay, so that is the one pass. And we can pull this apart pretty easily. This one's easy to pull apart here. So that's real simple. And I'm going to show you basically from the beginning again what we just did. We're going to add one extra step though. So again, create that loop on the right, take it around the back, just like that. Take the left cord, go under the one that you just took to the left. Oh, I just hit my camera. And over the top. And you should have something like that. And this cord goes down through the loop. Alright. Now all we're doing is spiraling around these two center strands right here. So the cord on the right and the cord on the left go through the loops on the opposite side, just like so. Now we're going to do one more pass. So that's where we were on the first one, and then all we did was tighten it from there. This one, we're going to go through the loop again, around the back and through the loop, and this one's going to come over the top and go through the loop on the right. Now this does not look really like anything right now. So let me see if I can... Well, that did not work too well, did it? But I think we're okay. I think we can still tighten this up and have it come out. You just have to work the knot. And yeah, I think if this one goes there and this one goes there, we should still be good. Loosen that there and tighten, let's see, I think it's this one. Yep. Tighten that one. There we go. And that is your Matthew Walker 2-strand. Now, it got kind of messy there at the end as I was, right before I was getting ready to tighten it, but it does take some practice to keep everything in the right spot. But as you start tightening it, you can start to see what the knot should look like. And actually, I'm going to do this one again, just so that I don't keep you guys confused, because this one's a little bit trickier than just the standard one. And I definitely want to make sure that I'm teaching the correct method so that you can get this right. Alright, so the two ends together, pull through to our loop, loop goes to the bottom, create a loop on the right, go behind, off to the left. This cord, the left cord, goes under, then over the center, and down through the loop, like that. And we're going to try to keep our loops straight with our cords coming through there. Alright, so if you pass through a loop on the right, you have to pass through on the left. So we're going to start with the right, go through, take that off to the left side, take the left cord, go over and through. And we're going to try to keep these loops. So we have our left loop and our right loop. Now we're going to grab our left cord, take it over, down through, off to the right, and then the other right cord we're going to go under and through to the left. And we can go ahead and you can see, let me lay this down. We have our two loops here, and then we have our two spiral cords that loop around the center. I'm just going to pull out some of the slack right here out of these two loops, like so, and then tighten this up. And as you tighten, these cords just kind of fall into where they need to go. And you're going to want to pull, they were kind of big loops, you want to pull those kind of that way until you have, okay, see we have a big gap right here. So what we do is take that cord and just kind of place it right inside the top cord and the bottom cord. It'll fall right into place just like that. And that's basically it. All that you need to do now is to tighten this. And I do have people come into my store and say that I make it look so easy, but I need to slow down sometimes. And I think that was the case with the first one that I just did, or the first time on this one. So yeah, I definitely want to make sure that you guys get this. So that is the 2-pass Matthew Walker. Now, let's move on to the 4-strand. I'm going to leave this up here. Actually, that's going to be in the way, so let me get that out of the way. Now the 4-strand, I wrote down the order of these colors that I wanted to do, so it'll look right at the end. You're going to want to do this as well. You're going to want to write down the colors in order. I got gray, yellow, red, and blue. Okay, so that's the order that we're looking for. And remember, I tied all these cords together just to keep them together. You can put a rubber band around them. It doesn't matter. All right, so the first thing we want to do is grab our leftmost cord and create a loop that goes over top of itself like this. Then this cord goes around the back up through the loop that it created. And we're going to pull this just tight enough to where we can get the rest of these three through that loop. Now you also notice that this gray one, I left this cord at the topmost part of this loop. I don't want it down here because I have to pass all the cords under through here. So this first one, yellow, we're just from here, we're going under and through this loop. And notice how I went under right here, under that gray one, under this gray one. Okay, and we're creating its own loop now. And it's going to go around the back and through its own loop. And another thing you want to keep in mind is that all these loops should be very, very similar. Notice how the gray one is under the yellow one, and the yellow one kind of passes right alongside of the gray one, even up top here. And we'll get this one kind of out of the way. Just like that. Now I think the next color was red. Yep. We're going to go through, above the yellow, above the last one you did, but still under this gray. Create that loop, run this along the yellow, and then bring it up through the red loop. So we'll place that above the yellow. And that's really important that these colors kind of run along each other in the same order that you already wrote down. So I have gray, yellow, red, blue. So blue's the next one. We're going to go through that same hole that we went through each time, underneath of that gray, create the loop, and then take the blue up through itself. Make sure you're running it along the red now, and we want to tighten this. Now once you get to this point, everything should look nice and uniform. Your crossovers should all line up, and your original order should be the same here: gray, yellow, red, blue. Now the first thing you want to do is start with your last one, and you're just going to tighten this up like that. You don't want your crossover to move down. You don't want that crossover to come down here. You want it to stay up here. And one way that you can do that is grab a hold of the inside part of the loop and pull your slack out, and then you should have a loop of it here now, the slack, and then pull that like that. So grab hold of your loop, pull that slack out, run it right along the blue, and tighten it. Same thing with the yellow. Make sure you run it underneath of where it's supposed to be. So going in reverse, we have blue, red, then yellow. We'll pull that tight. You don't want to pull it real tight, and you want to take your time on this. This is very important. The tightening portion of this is extremely important. All right, and then we have our gray here. Pull that tight, just like that. Okay, so we're getting pretty close. Now you want to flip this over, and we can tighten these up just a bit more. And this gray one's going to kind of look funny, but that's because we have a step to do here. So now what you want to do is flip this over so that you can see where these colors are kind of crossing right there. And we have our original colors here: gray, yellow, red, blue. Well, now I want to take this gray one and flip it up so that it runs right under the blue. Okay. And then we come back around and grab the yellow one. We're going to flip this one up and over so that it's right next to the gray right there. Just like that. And it'll take a little bit of time to get this. And then the red one should already kind of be in place. And you'll notice that these are starting to move so that they're pointing upwards instead of pointing to the left, these chords here. But once you get to this point, your knot's pretty much done. All you have to do is slowly work out all of the slack. And that's the trickiest part, is to make this look nice and uniform. But I'm telling you, once this is done, this is one good looking knot. You should have something that looks very similar to this. This isn't fully tightened. I still have some work to get that nice and tight. But this is the 4-strand Matthew Walker knot. And I'll just continue to tighten this. You just want to do one strand at a time. It does help to grab both of the strands and pull, like both reds, both blues. And you'll notice that as you go, it just gets tighter and tighter. And then you can roll this in between your fingers, like a marble kind of, and it will help flatten out the knot, give it kind of a squarish look to it. But there you have it. That's the easy 4-strand Matthew Walker. And this is the 2-strand Matthew Walker. I hope you enjoy my videos. Definitely hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate that. I think we're almost to 600,000 subscribers, which is just crazy. It's the #1 Paracord channel on YouTube. So I really thank you guys for that. And don't forget to check out Paracord On. That's our Facebook group where people post all their projects. So check that out too. It's in the description. The link is, it's facebook.com/user/ or I'm sorry, no, that's not right. Facebook.com/groups/Paracord On. And I will see you there. I look forward to seeing your creations and your posts. And I try to comment every day on everybody's posts. So see you in there. Until next time, Paracord On. Do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button to your left. There's other great videos all the time, and there's a few to the right side of the screen, and you can also buy Paracord at our site with the link at the bottom left. Thank you again for watching.